I want my mother-in-law to move out after she kicked out my parents. Plus all updates. Hi there, I am here to ask for advice and to make my husband see that I'm not the asshole. Here's hoping y'all can see where I'm coming from. I, 45 female, live with my children, 12 female, 14 male and 15 male, husband, 46 male, and mother-in-law, 65 female. My mother-in-law moved in with us back in 2015 after my father-in-law passed because she was financially struggling. My mother-in-law is not easy to live with and we struggled immensely at the beginning, but after a few years we found a way to cohabit. Then recently, 3 months ago to be exact, my parents' 68F, 68M, house burned down and they moved in with us while everything is sorted out with insurance and so on. My boys are sharing a bedroom as my parents are currently staying in my eldest bedroom. My mother-in-law has struggled with this and seems to hate my mother being around. My mother has done nothing to upset her or to disturb her. In fact, my parents' bedroom is on the other side of the house. She doesn't, however, have problem with my father and always finds a way to hang out with him. A few days ago while I was away for work, a massive argument happened between my mother and mother-in-law. My mother had accused her of trying to seduce my father and there were some inappropriate texts sent to my father. My father immediately showed it to my mother and my mother responded as if she was my father to see how far mother-in-law would go, and well, she went far. Well, my mother confronted her and mother-in-law called the police, saying she felt threatened, who then escorted my parents out the house. This all happened while my husband was at work and the kids at school. My parents went to stay at a hotel and they explained what happened to me over the phone. When I returned, I gave mother-in-law 2 weeks to move out. My husband thinks I'm escalating things and that I should forgive his mother's actions because she was lonely and confused. FYI, there is nothing wrong with her, she's in good health, so am I the asshole for wanting her out of our house and my life? FYI, to answer, my husband has not seen the text and pictures his mother sent my father. The only reason he hasn't seen it is because he refused to, but I think I'll have to insist because I need him to really understand how nasty she's been. Also, I wanted to kick her out immediately, but my husband begged me to give him 2 weeks so he could find a place for her. And my parents, being the saints that they are, said that I should give him that. My husband has profusely apologized to my parents, but my parents aren't upset with us and hold only mother-in-law responsible, as it was her disgusting actions that lead to this. 1. In the pictures she sent my father, mother-in-law wasn't completely naked, she sent him lingerie pictures with suggestive poses and accompanied with lewd texts. Which is why my husband isn't particularly interested in seeing them. 2. The police asked my parents to leave since my mother-in-law technically lives there. To avoid escalating the situation, my parents decided to leave. The police officers did not file any charges and just left after a chat with everyone involved. There was zero violence and no one got hurt. 3. Mother-in-law moved in with us after she had lost almost everything. Father-in-law died after a long battle with cancer. Medical cost ate up pretty much most of their savings and she had to sell their house. This led her to spiral into a deep depression. My husband was very worried for his mother, and for good reason, as she was in a terrible state at the time. So we decided to move her in with us. Update. I thought I'd give you all an update since several people have asked for one. My mother-in-law is currently staying in an Airbnb, and since she is in no position to buy her own place, my husband and I have decided we are buying a 2 to 3 bedroom place near us, that she can live in. The plan is for her to rent out the second room to her friend, who is currently going through a divorce. I haven't spoken to or seen my mother-in-law for 3 weeks now. My husband goes to see her once or twice a week as she is apparently severely depressed. She's also upset with me for telling my husband's entire family why she's been kicked out of my house, and they are all appalled with her. My husband has also gone off on her a few times for her behavior, and he fully backs me in the decision to ban her from our home. The children know there has been a falling out with their grandmother and me, and I suspect they know why, but they also know they can maintain their own relationship with her without it upsetting me. They miss her and have gone to visit her a few times with their father. There's much I can say about my mother-in-law, but one thing I can't deny is her love for her grandchildren. My husband still hasn't looked at the messages his mother sent my father, and honestly I can understand it because I too wouldn't want to see anything sexual involving my mother. As for my husband and I, we are both working on our relationship. Obviously during this period our relationship was strained, but we are back on track. My husband has apologized to me several times for not putting his foot down with his mother earlier on, and he is doing everything he can to mend our marriage. This whole situation has made my parents and my husband's relationship awkward, but we are all slowly working on mending it. As for my parents' house, it will take another month or so before they can move back in. It's currently a construction site and my parents are looking forward to redecorating it. What do you guys think? Let's discuss in the comments. Follow and like for more stories.